happening, everybody? We're back with another episode of the QB List podcast, and today it's QB List Inside the Pocket. Yes, we've got Brett, Drew, Eric, and Jay in the house. We are going to be going through several topics here, talking about the division round, talking about the AFC and NFC championships. How are we doing today, fellas?
Great. I'm a little tired. Just woke up a few minutes ago, but that's just life. I'm excited to be here with all these gentlemen. Drew, have we ever done a show together, Drew?
I don't think so. Yeah, not this year. Not this year.
It's exciting. So let's have a little fun.
Oh, I had to dust them out. I had to pull them off the shelf. We had to get them out here and get them ready. First show of the year for you. I'm glad we got you, Drew. Eric, what about you? How you doing down there?
Man, we're living good. We're bracing for some of this winter weather coming into Texas' direction, which we are not accustomed to. So all the more reason to bunker down and watch some football this weekend.
Abso-freaking-lutely. Brett, what about you?
Yeah, man, we're up here in upstate New York, so we're used to the cold weather. We'll be fine. We've got our bread and our milk and our toilet paper, so we're good to go.
Gotta have those milk sandwiches.
It's exciting. A lot of good football this past week. Go Hoosiers. And a lot of fun stuff coming up in the championship round, too.
You say fun stuff. As long as the Patriots lose, we will have some fun there. Yes, you're going to get lots of Patriots hate here, folks. So if you're a fan, hold on tight. Well, folks, without further ado, let's get this thing rocking and rolling. We're going to start off with one thing that will decide the AFC game. Jay, why don't you go ahead and start us off here? What is your one thing that's going to decide this AFC championship matchup?
Yeah, so I thought about, obviously, got Jared Stidham. I'm sure somebody's going to talk about it, or we're all going to try to not be the one guy to talk about it. But I'm going to go with the running game for the Broncos. I think that the only way that they're going to win this game is with their defense, with Stidham not turning over the ball and controlling the clock. And RJ Harvey, while he's had some moments, he really hasn't been that efficient on the ground. And the Patriots have had a very good run defense most of the year, but they've had a few games where guys have gone off. So that's the thing that I'm looking out for. I think RJ Harvey's going to have to really step up and honestly play better than he has most of the season.
Absolutely. Drew, give me something. What's your one thing?
Well, I think it's going to go to coaching. I think honestly, with when you have Jarrett Stidham in there, it's really it's Sean Payton. He's a creative play caller. I think we're going to have to see some more a different kind of offense than what we're used to seeing. I think you'll see some more short and intermediate target usage there. Evan Engram might actually be dusted off once in a while for this. I hate to say it, but I think you're going to see some guys play some roles that we haven't seen. So RJ Harvey getting more backfield work out of the backfield, I think, would be helpful for Stidham as well. So I think really it's a chance for Sean Payton to kind of make a new legacy for himself here to see what he can do there. But that I think really that's that. I mean, Mike Vrabel, he's a defensive mind. He gets to go up against Jarrett Stidham. So I think that's really the thing to watch is how do these coaches prepare these teams to play for in these situations. So
nice, Brett. Give me something. Where are you feeling here?
I'm particularly focusing on the wide receiver defensive back matchups, especially on the Patriots offensive side and the Broncos defense. I'll be watching Patrick Surtain to see if he follows Stephon Diggs around the formation, whether he shadows him in the slot, whether the Broncos keep Surtain on the outside. So that's the first interesting matchup. But then on the other side, you've got Riley Moss, who has been kind of hyper targeted for these Broncos against Kayshon Boutte, who made the best catch of the divisional round last week. So really looking forward to seeing how Drake May can pick apart this vaunted Broncos secondary and how much separation his wide receivers can create.
Can they keep him clean? That's the big thing. Can they keep him clean? I think we might have something similar to what we saw with the matchup there with Houston. Eric, round us off here. What you thinking?
Man, I get to be the weirdo that says Denver actually kind of has a chance here. I think that based on what we've seen from Jarrett Stidham in his previous starts, based on what we've seen from him in the preseason this year, he's got a little bit more of a live arm than I at least anticipated before I started watching some film. I think that they can make some things happen. I do think a lot of this will boil down to coaching and scheme and what Sean Payton can scheme up for him. But I am worried that what he tries to scheme up is going to be a lot of swing passes and a lot of passes to their running backs out of the backfield. The New England Patriots actually have the 5th lowest EPA per play allowed to passes at or behind the line of scrimmage this year. So if that's their plan A, they're going to be falling back to plan B very, very quickly. The second thing I'll call out, Drake May. He is one of these players that finds his ways into sacks. He has one of the highest pressure to sack rates in all of the NFL, and he's facing off against a Denver Broncos defensive line that has 2 of the players with the fastest get off in all of the NFL. So it will have to be some defensive fireworks on the Broncos side for this one to stay close, but I wouldn't rule it out. I think the Broncos are going to keep it competitive.
And
I love it.
To follow up on that too, real quick, Eric, the other thing I was thinking about talking about was Drake May and his turnover issues, and the Broncos lead the playoffs in turnovers, or tied with the Rams. So it's he's gonna have to play smart football. And I really hate to say this in public. Please don't tell anybody, but I'm a Duke fan and a Giants fan, and I really like Drake May. I like his game. I like the way he plays. I'm torn inside because I'm supposed to hate the Patriots with everything and every fight. My son got mad at me. I told him, I said, yeah, I actually kind of like the guy. And he said, I'm going to punch you. And I said, honestly, I deserve it. But yeah, Drake May's going to have to play smart football and not turn the ball over as well.
Smart kid. Clearly getting it from the mom there, obviously, on that one. Drew, we've seen Will Campbell he's injured. He has to be injured. Over the last month, his the pressures he's letting up is significantly higher than we got all season. Do you it's got to be one of the biggest issues that I'm going to be watching in this game. Is that something you're going to be going for, or give me a few thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but I also want to think before it jumps out of the brain here. Vegas has this a pretty tight game for New England and Denver. It's only 4.5 point spread for the Patriots, and you were talking about Jarrett Stidham being a starter, and he's only a 4.5 point underdog. That to me, I think it really kind of underscores a lot of what we're talking about here about the defense and Denver's defense and how strong they are. I don't think we can underestimate everything that we just talked about, but the ability to create turnovers, and then you couple that with the creative play calling here with Peyton and his ability to make something out of nothing. So they do have some some players like some Marvin Mims and things like that. You get them a chance to get the ball in space and create things. There's all kinds of possibilities here. I'm excited to see what Sean Payton can do. But yeah, I mean, Campbell's for sure. That's going to play a role as well.
Hey, if Jeff Hostetler can win a Super Bowl, so can Jarrett Stidham.
It's a Jarrett Stidham revenge game, baby. Like nothing better than narratives, right?
That's right.
Absolutely. I guess this. Look, it's the bias in me. It's the bias. I don't like the Patriots. I don't like Sean Payton, but that's the Colts in me. I can't really jump on this one. If we're having to pick a winner from this game right now, what'd you say it was 4.5 point spread there, Drew?
Yes.
If you guys have to pick one, where are y'all going with this game?
I'm going to go.
I'll take Denver and the points. I'd be happy to take 4.5 with Stidham boosted up by this stout defensive line.
Yeah, I think Denver could win the game, but yeah, with that, but I definitely agree with that. I like Denver the points, and I think part of this because I expect the game to go under. It's 42.5, and I still think that's a high number. I think it'll be under that. I think it's going to be a much tighter game.
Absolutely.
I think they do it. I think being at home is going to play a big advantage for. It's going to be something that's going to hurt Drake May in his young career, but it's obviously I'll take the points because I think they're going to win straight up. Maybe that's just the Giants fan in me. I don't know.
I'll be that guy. Give me the Patriots. Give me the Patriots by more than a touchdown. I think that Jarrett Stidham is just not going to have it. I think that, like Eric said, the check downs and those underneath passes aren't going to work. And when Sean Payton tries to go to plan B and push it downfield, I think that Christian Gonzalez in the New England secondary is going to take that away, as well as, the New England pass rush. You talked about how great the Broncos defense has been. This New England team is a really good defense as well. So I don't expect this one to be I think that Buffalo's week is going to get even worse, really, is what it comes down to. I think Drake May is going to end up in a Super Bowl before Josh Allen. And I think if I would have told anybody that a year ago, 2 years ago, they would have punched me upside the head.
Yeah, I don't blame you on that one. It's crazy. I'm not ready for a new Patriots dynasty to start.
Sean
Well, I think it's
McDermott
gonna
to sign
happen.
as like a special advisor or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's going to happen. I agree with you, but I think Denver keeps it close. I have 20-17. I've got New England covering. I got Denver covering, but New England winning.
Nice. Love that. Let's go to the NFC. What is your one thing that is going to decide the NFC game? Eric, go ahead and start us off.
I'm looking to the Seattle side for this. I've got a 1 and a 1A. I mean, it's pretty straightforward, right? Sam Darnold has to avoid that whammy. No whammy, big bucks. Don't see any ghosts out there. It's going to be a very tall order for him. The Los Angeles Rams actually bring pressure at one of the lowest rates in all of the NFL, but they simulate pressure at one of the highest rates in the NFL. So they're going to try to put Sammy franchise into a blender, see if they can't force him into some of those unforced errors. And it is going to be a long day in the office for him. Fortunately, the Seattle Seahawks team around him is strong enough to where we've seen earlier this year, he had a handful of turnovers in their first game, and they were kicking a field goal at the end to win it, right? You had a handful of turnovers in the second game in what ended up being an electric comeback and an overtime win, right? So their ability to win isn't necessitated on him entirely being perfect back there, but their ability to win comfortably and to stay on schedule is definitely tied to it. And some of this goes to my 1A. Kenneth Walker is going to be the primary running back out there. He'll see 90-ish% of snaps, and he is horrific in pass protection. So he's got to be able to hold water and make sure that that Sam Darnold is staying upright when he is tasked in pass pro in this game.
I believe Charles Cross is still the left tackle is day-to-day as well, so that'll be an interesting thing to watch as we get closer into this. Brett, give me something. What you're looking at here in the NFC?
I love that Eric was talking trench battles and the guys, the big uglies up front. I'm also touching on that, and my battle that I'm
Touching on the
watching
big
is on
uglies.
the other side. I'm watching Kevin Dotson, the Rams right guard. He's back from injury. He played really well the past couple of games after missing the final 2 regular season games of the year with an injury sustained against this Seahawks team. I don't know if y'all saw it, but Derek Hall, Seahawks linebacker, stomped on his leg, gave him the old Ndamukong Suh treatment in week 16, got a 1-game suspension for it. Rams were without Dotson. Dotson is the number 3 guard in the NFL, third among 81 qualified players in PFF score with an 86.4 grade. Really, really high caliber interior lineman, kind of anchors that Rams offense, Rams offensive line. And, you know, like we said, keeping Darnold clean is important. Keeping Stafford clean is super important. The guy is, 57 years old and taking his team to the Super Bowl, and he can't do that with, a spine injury or whatever he had in the preseason that was completely fabricated, I guess.
Exactly.
So need to keep him clean, need to keep him from getting hit. And if that happens, I think the Rams have a really good Sunday.
He just needs another injection. A shot in the back, he'll be good to go. Drew, where are you feeling on this one?
Well, I think it's Stafford's playoff experience. I think is huge here. I think it makes all the difference. Sam Darnold hasn't really done. When it comes to playoff time, he just kind of melts. It's just, we've seen it so many times. Even against the 49ers, he had 124 passing yards. I mean, that game kind of got away, and I know the game script had something to do with that. He only had 17 passing attempts, I think, in the game. But we still haven't seen him meet the moment when the chips are down. I don't know if he's got that dog in him, that killer instinct to kind of get the team over the hump, because this is going to be a dogfight. This is a division game. The Rams are coming ready to play. They've smelled this before. They've been here before. Stafford has, and some of these guys have. I mean, you got Puka Nacua, you got Devontae Adams, you got Kyron Williams. Blake Corum is a decent running back in his own right when given the opportunity. So, and of course, they have. I feel like they have like 14 different tight ends, and all of them can be dangerous at times. So, I just think that this is going to be a tall task for the Seahawks. I know they have the home field advantage, and that's a tough place to play football. But the Rams are used to this. They're going to be ready and pumped for this division matchup, and I think the Rams win. They're a 2.5-point dog. I like them to win outright.
Nice. Jay, take us home.
Yeah, so Eric, I'm a little ashamed of you. When you said Kenneth Walker, I thought you were going to say nice things about him. And that's all that Brian and I allow when we're on camera together. So I'm going to say the nice things, and I am going to go to Kenneth Walker, and I think he's going to be the difference. He's going to be the way that the Seahawks win this game. The 2 games against the Rams this year, he's averaged 6.19 yards per carry, scored in both of them, over 10 explosive run rate. The Rams, even though they haven't given up a whole lot of yards, I mean, I guess since week 10, they 126 rushing yards per game, but 4.8 yards per carry. So we know the explosiveness that Kenneth Walker has. I agree with everything you said, Drew, about Darnold. I don't think that he's going to be able to put the team on his shoulders, but man, honestly, Brian, I was thinking of you the entire time I was watching the Seahawks game.
It's not the only time you did that today, huh?
He looks so freaking good, even before Sharps got hurt. And I hate that happened to him, because Sharps does seem like a good guy. But man, Walker, just what you saw last Saturday night is was it Saturday? I'm old, I can't keep up anymore. But Saturday, Sunday, what you saw last weekend out of Walker was what those of us who bought in were all about. He just looked fantastic.
Yeah, we're looking at this game right now. We got about a 47-point over-under. Seattle's favored by 2.5. I need the over here. I know we got this running thing where we see teams play each other 3 times in a year. You got the big first game. The second one's usually pulled back a little bit. I need fireworks here, folks. I need absolute fireworks, because we're going to get the grandpa game with the AFC. It's going to be the grinded out. It's going to be the defense most likely. It's going to be that I need some explosion here. And as we're seeing, I mean, Devontae Adams looks hurt. Absolutely looks hurt right now.
Yeah,
he's going to be my X factor. Can he get out there and produce? His line has been below 50 yards over the last few games. I need him to go out there and score a touchdown for me.
Yeah, give him
absolutely love it.
Right?
He was another name on my list. I want to see him regain that goal line back roll that he had at the beginning of the year. Right, if they're able to use his leverage and use his short area quickness at the goal line and in scoring position, it's critical for how this Rams offense all puts together.
Absolutely. Do you have anything else with this one?
One of the guys that I'm looking to fill that role, if Devontae is hurt and misses plays or is on a snap count or anything, one of the guys that's going to fill that downfield threat role is rookie tight end Terrence Ferguson. The way that they've used him has been amazing. Like, McVay knows exactly what he's doing, basically sending him on like seam corners and like weird, like long dagger routes and things like that. Like, they want to get him the ball downfield, and he seems like a yak monster. And you know how the Rams love their tight ends. So Terrence Ferguson is a guy who I'm watching this weekend as well.
Oh, I love that. I remember the draft, watching that. McVay just couldn't help himself, just flowing effusively about Ferguson and talking about how much they loved him. I think we're seeing it now. I think we're like all those things you just said. I love everything you just said about how his usage. I think you're right. I think he plays a big role.
And hopefully, Ferguson already looks better than Gerald Everett was, but we had so much hype on that one, his first pick, the second round one. I'm hoping we got it right this time.
Oh, Gerald Everett, that name.
Oh, man. Y'all want to go ahead and tell whether you have which team you're picking or the line if y'all haven't yet? Jay, who you got?
My heart says Seattle, but my head says the Rams.
Nice. Eric?
I'm going with Seattle. I think they win pretty comfortably, happily laying the points. I've got them winning by 4 in this one.
Nice. Drew, you said you got the Rams, right?
Got the Rams. I also I'm going to give you your over. I'm going to give you your fireworks. I see it.
Buddy.
We can all agree this is like the de facto Super Bowl, right? This is going to be the best remaining game of the playoffs.
I agree.
Probably.
Yeah.
Brett,
Yeah.
What about you?
I've got the Rams, and I think it comes down to who is the better quarterback. And I'll take Matt Stafford over Sam Darnold any day of the week, especially on Sundays.
Nice. Love that. Love that.
You did there.
I like what you did there.
They play
All right,
on
as
Sunday
we're
usually
as we're pulling through,
they play on Sundays. Yeah.
as we're finishing up the regular season here, dynasty season, it's burning up, it's getting ready. People are wanting to know. Let's talk about a player that y'all have as far as their stock has risen since the end of the regular season, whether it be coaching changes, personnel injury, something like that. Toss out a player that y'all think is biggest riser as of right now.
So I'm not sure if you guys have heard, but the Giants have a new coach. You guys heard anything about this? Yeah. So I'm actually not quite official yet, but does look like Todd Monken's going to come along with Jim Harbaugh. And I'm going to go to the running back, but not with Cam Scatterbo. I'm going to go with Tyrone Tracy. We know that Monken likes to use a lot of 21 personnel, a lot of 12 personnel, have two backs on the field. And the way Tracy looked solid down the stretch, it was Singletary at first, and they were going back and forth a few times. But Tracy showed those flashes of why people were kind of a little hesitant to go with Scatterbo earlier in the season. And I think we've seen Keaton Mitchell, we've seen Justice Hill, we've seen these guys have some solid flex value. I think it's still going to be Scat as the guy that you want out of the Giants backfield. But if Monken does indeed come to the Giants, which I hope so, and apparently I just hit puberty, as long as he comes over, I think Tyrone Tracy is going to be undervalued going into next season.
I like that. Drew, where's your head on these guys or on this player?
You threw me for a loop there. I thought you were going to go with when you said Monken. I thought you were going to go Theo Johnson with the way he uses tight ends. So that's what I would go with the Giants. But I agree. I like the thought process.
We're going to sign Isaiah Likely, so that's why I didn't.
All right, there you go.
Got to waste some money somewhere.
So since you're talking dynasty, I'm going to give you Fernando Mendoza because everybody, can he get it done? Can he get it done in the championship game? And he did it with emphatic, put an exclamation point on it. Just a winner. And I think he's proven that. I think it's going to be very interesting to see this guy in Las Vegas, like just the city of Las Vegas. This guy, this clean cut dude. It's going to go so many different ways. There's so many outcomes here, but I just think I'm very interested to see what happens there with him. So I think Mendoza, and then I'll go with him. So
Sin City's going to take him.
He's going to get converted.
Absolutely. Eric, who you got on your list?
So Jay was giving me a hard time earlier for not saying something nice about Kenneth Walker because I was going to talk about him in this segment in particular. I think Kenneth Walker, with that phenomenal performance in the divisional round and with a lot of runway in front of him here in the championship round, is going to be able to go out and make a strong case of proof of concept, right? We've all kind of wondered, what does this guy look like if he gets a bell cow workload? And so far looks pretty good, to the tune of 3 touchdowns, 6.1 yards per carry, an ability to catch passes out of the backfield, 3 receptions in that last game. We're talking about Kenneth Walker, who's heading into free agency this upcoming offseason. If he is to leave Seattle, I think it's very likely to go to a place that is going to be featuring him in a more prominent role. So, here in the postseason, he's delivered on that proof of concept, and I think his arrow is pointing up and to the right.
Eric figured out how to get bonus points in this game. That's right, Ken Walker, baby. Brett, bring him forward. Who's your guy?
Well, I was hoping by now we'd have Arthur Smith signing on as the Cardinals head coach so I could say Arizona backup tight ends Josiah DeGuara and Pharaoh Brown. But I'm going to have to go in a different direction. We'll stay on the free agent running backs this upcoming offseason. I'm going to say Breece Hall. He ended up as PPR running back number 19 with the Jets and their terrible, terrible offense. And he should be in position to do better than that in 2026. Most exciting places for Hall would be Houston or Kansas City, obviously, but literally anywhere in the NFL would be better for fantasy purposes for Breece Hall than the New York Jets. So I'm really hoping that he hits the open market and gets a contract somewhere interesting. Maybe Seattle if Ken Walker leaves. That might be a good spot for him. But we'll see. I don't know. It's hugely speculative at this point, but like I said, anywhere but New York would be nice for Breece Hall.
What about Jacksonville? ETN leaves, Breece Hall.
Don't muddy up my Bayshall tootin'. Don't do that. That's how you get negative points right there, Jay.
You can come compete for the Bayshall Tootin' role.
I like Bayshall Tootin'.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle
I'll give you a point back.
Kyle Pitts.
Hey, I actually thought about bringing him up for this stock thing because he finished the year in the tight end too, and now he's got Kevin Stefanski coming into town who
he's a free agent.
Tight ends. I mean, you got Njoku and you had Fan in there, and now you got Pitts, a guy who's really proven high aptitude for being able to utilize a tight end. So I'm excited for Pitts too.
Pitts is free agent, right?
Oh, he's getting tagged. He's getting tagged now.
This is my favorite part of the offseason where Every single like best free agent list has 7 guys that are about to get
my
franchise tagged.
heart would explode if he somehow wound up on the Giants.
He's a Philly guy, I think. He's from Philadelphia, so I'd love to see him come to the Eagles if Scott Goddard decides
already
to
turned his
you
back
get,
on
like,
theoretical
I was a
giant
huge
Isaiah
fan
Likely.
of AJ Brown, and he went to the Eagles. Like, don't do that to me. I like Jalen Hurts.
It stays in Atlanta. They just signed on the Browns' former offensive coordinator,
Bill Callahan.
Oh,
sorry.
Callahan
Pitts could smash next year with that. Yeah, if he stays.
I thought you were bringing up Bill Callahan, just coming in there, beef up the offensive line even more. Maybe the best days are behind him, but I'm hopeful. I want some fun there in Atlanta. Too much greatness. Alrighty, let's go on to the next one. We're going to talk about a player that's probably lost the most stock over the last few weeks here as the season ended. Give me one guy that has hurt the most since the season ended. Who wants to start us off?
Man, I can go first. This was a bit of a head scratcher because I thought this was a player whose stock mathematically couldn't go much lower. But you look at how the last few weeks have played out for Keon Coleman, and brother is down horrendous. We're talking about a former second-round draft pick, essentially the first player off the board after the first round, and a circumstance where his team absolutely needed him for this playoff run. Every single one of their receivers went down. We're talking Palmer down. We're talking Gabe Davis. We're talking about Tyrell Shavers going down, and Buddy still couldn't get north of a 50% snap share in either of those games. And then immediately after, somewhat surprisingly, firing their head coach, the Bills owner, Terry Pagula, comes out and just absolutely name checks him as a bad pick and throws the now fired coaching staff under the bus for forcing them to pick him. So I didn't think it could get any worse for Keon Coleman, but we're here now. And if stock can go into negative numbers, he's the poster child for it.
I love, too, that the video of the Combine that year of Brandon Beane has resurfaced where he's talking about, like, oh, I'm glad he ran so slow. That way I can still go get him. Dude, don't even try that. Don't even try that with me. You made a mistake. You promoted a guy where you should have got rid of him, and yet you're trying to cover it up. Horrible, horrible management, whether it be from up top to bottom. It's horrible. Keon Coleman, even if you're trash, man, you can't treat your players like that. You can't do that after you get rid of the guy that established culture up there in Buffalo. Brett, who's your guy that you're getting rid of, or not getting rid of, lower stock?
And oh, by the way, they're also interviewing the offensive coordinator, Joe Brady, for the head coaching position. So safe to say that he's probably not getting the job after that conversation. Moving on. So a guy whose stock has dropped since the end of the regular season, who's actually still alive in the playoffs, Jay, earmuffs, TreVeyon Henderson. TreVeyon Henderson's stock has dropped. We've watched as Ramondre Stevenson has taken over this New England backfield, and guess who's under contract next year for the Patriots? Ramondre. He's still going to be there. And by the way, Stevenson hasn't fumbled since week 5. So the ball security issues that everybody was worried about, non-existent. Henderson has averaged 26 yards rushing and 1 reception in each of the 2 playoff games. He has 2.5 yards per carry. He's just basically been an offensive non-factor for the Patriots in this postseason. Now, that's not to say he can't pop off in this championship game or if they make the Super Bowl. He has the talent to be a Super Bowl MVP caliber type player. He can pop off, and this is only a 2-game sample size, so bear with me. But TreVeyon Henderson is not going to be in any sort of 1A situation behind Steve or in front of Stevenson if this postseason is any indication.
Yeah, this one's going to be rough. I believe Stevenson has I think he has 2 years left on his deal too. Like, he could be a thorn in Henderson's side for a while. He might turn into a Derrick Henry where it's not till year 4 that he finally gets released. Henderson is one of those guys. It's a low volume. He doesn't need a whole lot to really go crazy, but this isn't great. This is not good as far as going forward because Vrabel's not a guy. He doesn't care. I reference Henry. He's the coach that did that. He's the one that brought in DeMarco Murray. He's the one that brought in Dion Lewis. When you've got too much. Drew, give me that guy. Who's the one?
I hate to say this. I'm not supposed to like Ohio State players as a person who married into a Michigan family, but CJ Stroud, I was very hopeful that he would really turn into something. I thought that he might hit his stride. And I know that not having Nico Collins definitely hurt him in this game this past week, and Dalton Schultz going out didn't help. But gosh, it was horrendous. I mean, I can't think of. I mean, we talked about the Bills front office. The only person who's had a worse week than the Bills front office was C.J. Stroud in the scope of what everything that happened on Sunday. Goodness gracious! I mean, and I couldn't believe that he had what 8 turnovers, I think it was, at one point in the third quarter, and they were still only down by 5. So I just not being able to kind of meet the moment there and in an opportunity in a game that I think they probably could have won. That's horrendous there, and it doesn't look good here when you have a quarterback who just can't figure it out and has turned the ball over that much in key situations.
Now, is this a situation of just regression from an amazing rookie year? I've heard speculation about just the concussion issue. He was knocked out for several weeks with the concussion. Is this something like just a mental thing he's working through, something that's compounded there, or is this just him that much regression from that first year? Where do you fall on that situation?
I don't know. I think I'm just scratching my head right now. I expected him to be a lot better than he is, to be frank. And I mean, I think Jaden Higgins, I think, showed some promise. So I'm hoping that he can kind of help and taking a step in year 2, and hopefully getting Nico back healthy will help. It would be great for that to happen as well. So
Tank Dell coming back too.
what's that?
Tank Dell.
Tank Dell, yeah. Hopefully he
Good
comes
news
back
on him
and is anywhere
recently.
close to
That
the same
guy.
player. That'd be great. So, he really needs some offensive line help too. That's not really doing him any favors. So, but I just until they get those things sorted, until we get some of these questions answered, I'm a little leery on CJ Stroud until we see it. If you believe in him, it's a great buy low window. But I think his stock in general has fallen. So,
As the residence Texans fan, which is a weird thing to say in front of a live microphone right now.
Dozens of us.
I feel
it's a safe
12.
place. You're fine.
Exactly. I feel like this is a classic case of the yips, right? There were points in that Pittsburgh game where he also had 5 turnovers, but then when he was uncorking it, he was firing darts down there, just dotting it into the perfect window, right? So
True.
still very much so has the arm talent and the ability to move the ball down the field in the way that we saw as a rookie. But it is all in between the years right now. He just cannot get out of his own way. And unfortunately, a couple years in the trenches behind some of the league's worst offensive lines can change a man, right? So legitimately open question as to what we can expect for him going forward.
Not to talk positively about Deshaun Watson, but we saw the similar thing down there. He was playing great, but getting destroyed. He was getting dry humped up and down the field constantly behind that line. So I think it's, we might see a similar problem here with CJ Stroud if they can't figure that out. Jay, who you got?
So Brett is making me laugh. Brett, I am upset with you about the Trevion Henderson choice, but not because you said something negative about him. It's because that was my pick, because you pretty much what you said, plus Ramondre Stevenson is balling out, man. He looks phenomenal in the playoffs. He's top 5 in yards per carry, top 5 in rushing yards per game. He's got the number 1 yards per catch. During the season, he was top 5 in explosive run rate, missed forced tackles, yards per contact. I hate to say it, but Vrabel was right to stick with him. It's he's still, and I'm a little mad at myself. I think I got all hot and bothered with Trevion Henderson, but a couple years ago, I was a big fan of Stevenson, and I like the talent. I just I also like Henderson's too, and I think that unfortunately both of these guys are going to be in that low end RB2 range. That whoever's the guy that blows up that week is the one that you're going to want to start. So I'm with you. I think that Henderson's dynasty value went down, and I'm going to draft whoever the cheapest of the two is and have them as like an RB3 flex. And, you don't want to see anybody get hurt, but if either of them were to get an increased workload, it would be, wheels up for whoever got the majority of the carries.
It's an interesting situation. Over the offseason, I kind of dug into it, just looking at Josh McDaniels' running backs. Historically, every single running back or the RB2 as far as ADP, Josh McDaniels running back, outperformed it every single time. The RB1 never did. We got into August, and I'm sitting there thinking about that. I'm like, I can't take Ramondre Stevenson. He's the RB2. I did all this work. This is the process. This is what it says. No,
So
absolutely
good in the
not.
preseason too.
Yeah, it's a rough situation there. I'm sure Ramondre is going to be a nice discount. Probably be an irritating piece to hold on to, but at the end of the day, like he's getting points out there and he's going to be on the board. So, yeah, interesting stuff there. Y'all, anything else on this? Y'all ready to roll on?
Yeah, only other person I had just written down as a stock going down is Carson Beck, just for the simple fact of not shaking a guy's hand after the game. Come on, that's loser behavior. That's I mean, who do you think you are, Tom Brady after Super Bowl 52? You can't pull that. So, yeah.
Oh, you get extra points for taking
Bill
shots at
Belichick
him.
after Super Bowl 42.
Oh, I love taking shots at the Pats. Oh, this is great. Alrighty, let's go with the most impactful coach signing thus far. The time of this recording, we don't officially have Mike McDaniel signed, but that is, I think, the most recent one I've seen is word that he should be going to the Chargers. So just kind of date where we're at here, folks. Brett, why don't you start us off here? What's the most impactful coaching signing we've got so far?
The easy one and the most obvious one, I'll save for Jay because it's his guy going to his new team. I'll let him wax poetic on John Harbaugh. But for me, I think the one that could be most impactful, the one that at least I'm most skeptical about, is the Miami Dolphins hiring Jeff Hafley as their head coach. I think that it kind of came out of nowhere. It kind of blindsided me a little bit. Hafley was kind of a hot name going into the offseason. I never really understood why. He finished with a 12-22 record in ACC play in 4 years as the Boston College head coach from 2020 to 2023. Sure, the Packers defense showed some improvement under Hafley the last 2 years, but they didn't have any postseason wins. He's a guy whose Green Bay swan song is allowing 25 points in the fourth quarter to the Bears after leading 21-3 at halftime. There's nothing really remarkable about his resume, and I really don't understand the appeal here. This could be a hire that sends the Dolphins from a middle-of-the-road team to an utter catastrophe. He could absolutely make me eat my words, but if I was a Dolphins fan, I'd be second-guessing this one.
He feels like the sacrificial lamb. Dolphins know they got 2 years of a tear-down rebuild, and there's no coach is going to make it all the way through that. This is the guy that's going to eat it for the next 2 years, and then when they're ready to come back out in 3, somebody else will come in. I just complete head scratcher on that one.
Yeah, they might pay him to tank too. We'll see.
Yeah,
tank for 2. That didn't work well. Eric, most impactful coaching hire we've got so far.
I would want to say Mike McDaniel because the idea of merging the Shanahan run game and this traditional power run game is the stuff that dreams are made of. But I'm a good little citizen. We are talking about coaches who have officially been signed, and there's some weird timing / maybe a backdoor that someone comes and scoops him as a head coach. So I'll put that on the shelf and instead talk about Robert Saleh. I think Robert Saleh got a raw deal in the New York Jets, considering what he was able to do with one of the biggest laughingstock franchises in NFL history. And now he heads into Tennessee. And while I appreciate his hard-nosed defensive mentality and the fact that he is a serious person, what I love most about it is by hiring Robert Saleh, it means that they are not hiring Matt Nagy or Mike McCarthy, which is a great decision for their franchise. So I think he'll be pretty middle of the road, right? If they commit to him long term, I think he can turn this franchise around slowly. But sometimes it's about avoiding the bogey, and they did that definitively, but by not hiring some of the names that they were rumored to be associated with.
Yeah, that one's an interesting
Mike
situation.
McCarthy would have been great for the Dolphins. Like, give me Mike McCarthy in Miami just to 2 years of, hey, maybe we can do something with Tua here, maybe. But
I feel like Mike McCarthy's Hawaiian shirt game has got to be strong, right?
Oh, no.
But he's got 3 dozen in the closet minimum.
Got the straw hat on and the cigar.
Yeah, fully leans in.
I fully expected Mike McCarthy to wind up the Giants head coach. That's just a typical Giants move.
Yep.
That thankfully that's not the case, but
Betting odds right now have him going to the Pittsburgh, Mike McCarthy, which I think is hilarious because do we get Aaron Rodgers coming back then with his boy?
I didn't
Randall
even think
Cobb,
of
the whole gang.
Mercedes Lewis, where you at?
that. Yeah.
He's still playing, isn't
What's
he?
James Jones doing these days?
My kids are going to take their kids to see Mercedes Lewis play. I've already.
Drew, go ahead and tell us who's your most impactful coach signing thus far.
We talked a little bit about him before, but I'm going to go back to Kevin Stefanski in Atlanta. He was a guy that I really hoped that my Philadelphia Eagles would bring. He's a local guy to the area. I was hoping that he would somehow not get hired and come into Philly and be the offensive coordinator position because he would just be perfect. But obviously, but that was a fever dream there. He was obviously going to be hired by someone. Talk about guys getting raw deals like Saleh or Saleh. I think Stefanski. What happened in Cleveland is just it's unspeakable, really, what they did to him. I think it's
Cleveland.
with that quarterback situation and everything else. He's a guy who won a playoff game for the Cleveland Browns. I mean, you talk about pulling things out of a hat. I mean, how long have Cleveland Browns waited for something? They ran a quarterback and a coach out of town that were in succession there. That we're not even going to talk about that drama, but I think Stefanski in Atlanta, I think sets up quite well for what he can do, what he has shown he can do. Atlanta's got a decent enough offensive line. They've got Bijan Robinson, obviously. We talked before about how he used the tight end there with Pitts and everything else, hopefully coming back. So I'm excited to see what he does there. I believe in him and his approach, and I think he's a great fit. So I'm really excited to see the fireworks going off there between Baker Mayfield and Stefanski.
Not only are you a two-time coach of the year winner, but you did that in Cleveland. How many Cleveland coaches have won coach of the year? Like, I'd love to actually look that up. Absolutely bonkers. Stefanski, I get it. He's a little rough around the edges in some of the things he says, but I honestly, top 3, top 5 head coach for me in the NFL. Like, I love Stefanski. So excited to see what he has. And hey, you brought it up. I can't wait to see the Baker and Stefanski drama we're going to get at least twice a year. Only twice, because there's no way both those teams are going to make it to the playoffs. They'd have to have winning records. Jay, give it to me. Most impactful coach for you.
Yeah, so Stefanski was actually my number one target for my Giants. First off, thank you guys for giving me this. I was last one to go, and that's very kind of you, gentlemen. I appreciate that. Obviously, I'm going to go with John Harbaugh with the Giants. It's been so long since we've had any sort of stability. Not only is he a good coach, he's basically becoming the CEO of the Giants, and they're already doing construction on the locker room, on the lunchroom. He's already bringing in more analytics guys. I really feel this is not because the Giants signed him. I have always respected the way that the Ravens organization has run everything. They're just one of the most organized. Well, I could go off for hours on nice words to say about them, but I'm excited to see that happen for the organization. Also, he had the pick of the litter. He could go anywhere. He could have went with Cam Ward. He could have went, to the Raiders with number 1 overall pick. Could have went to the Falcons and a couple places and picked who he wanted to be his quarterback. But he saw Jackson Dart and he chose him. And that makes me, because I think he is, but the jury's still out on if he's actually a franchise quarterback or not. And for John Harbaugh to want to come here to have him says good things about Jackson Dart's future, in my opinion.
Can we say definitively that was an affirmative choice from John Harbaugh? Because there were rumors swirling around there that some of the delay was he was waiting to see if the Bills got bounced in the first round and if that job would be open for him in Buffalo. He presumed, now I'm speculating, that because they advanced that job wouldn't be there. So I do think he had to pick the litter, but I also think he would potentially look at that Buffalo job if it was still available to him.
I mean, I would rather be in Buffalo than in
Would
New
you?
York.
That was going to be my next. That would be my next question. Like, would you actually though? They didn't get rid of Brandon Beane. I would rather be, I think, with the Giants than I would be with the Bills right now.
No,
Come on.
I think they're.
I got
that
Josh
G- that
Allen.
G-
man.
let's talk about the Giants GM, shall we? I mean, do we need to go?
That's
We
true,
need to
too.
go there. I mean,
Well, it
I
sounds
don't
like he neutered him though. It's going to be the John. I think he's a GM. I mean, did you see him in the press conference? He could barely get. It looked like he was having a panic attack. I think it's going to be. I wanted him gone, so I think this is the next best thing. And he's supposedly answers directly to John Mara. So I don't know. Hey, it's been a long time since I've actually been able to be excited as a Giants fan about anything. So
nice.
You can have it.
Yeah. It's a good looking franchise with what they've got right now. They've got some good bones. Just don't screw it up.
you got some good bones too.
Hey, thanks, buddy. That's why you're thinking about me all the time. All right, our last topic here, folks. We talk about some wild and wacky stuff. We get bored. 9 months, no football. We got the draft, of course. We got the combine, free agent signings. But there's always just the dumbest things that we talk about. Some of the biggest conversations. I want y'all to bring up, what is the biggest argument you think we're going to be debating? What is the most, I don't know, whether it be outrageous, just give me something that you guys think we're going to be arguing about. Who wants to start us off? Brett, you look like you're itching for something.
Still processing the Harbaugh hire. I'm still, I'm not grieving yet. I don't know what stage of grief I'm in, to be honest with you, but still kind of processing.
I like it. Jay, you want to start us off?
Yeah, I've got a couple of things that I've been rolling around in the old noggin. I think I'm going to leave this one for Brett if he brings it up. I think something we were talking about a little bit ago, but I think actually, think it's going to be Brian, choose A or B.
Here. Oh, we're going B. B's the best.
B? Okay.
Come on.
Emeka Egbuka. What is he? That first couple of weeks elite option? Is he just the flash in the pan? There's a really good chance that both Mike Evans and Chris Godwin might not be on this team next year. Is he going to be able to be the alpha? I like, actually, for fantasy purposes, I like Jalen McMillan. I think he's going to be free, and people are going to forget about him. And what's Baker going to look like? It's Baker. He was propped up. He didn't play good early in the season, but he was propped up by all those touchdowns and those comeback wins, and he didn't look good down the stretch either. We know he's always going to be aggressive, but I think he's, there's going to be those Baker bros that want Baker to be that top 5, top 10 fantasy quarterback. I think he's just going to be what he's always been, and that borderline QB1 who's going to have those big weeks and also, those multiple turnover, 1 touchdown games that cost you. So I think a lot of conversation is going to be around the Buccaneers offense and Bucky Irving too. That one hurts because I love Bucky Irving. He's been he helped me get to my championship and lose for the second year in a row in his rookie year. But when he came back, one of the most concerning things, he looked good, but one of the most concerning things was he lost his goal line job to Sean Tucker, and he's not getting it back. He was the worst of the 3. With Rashad White, I think Rashad White leaving helps Tucker more than it does anything for Bucky Irving because he was going to get his touches. But, if that role continues to go to Tucker into next season, that's really going to cap the upside of Bucky Irving.
Yeah, continuity. Can we get continuity? Can we get back-to-back offensive coordinators there in Tampa? Maybe that's where Baker thrives on, is just, turn him around, get a new one. But, goodness, man. Ridiculous. Eric, what you got for us? What is your one topping point that we're going to have all offseason?
Yeah, I could totally see us continuing a bit of a debate from this year and just dialing the volume up a little bit higher heading into this offseason. And that is whether you are entrenched in team or camp Tyler Warren or you are a Colston Loveland guy comparing the 2 top tight ends from the 2025 rookie class. The funny thing is, I kind of view it as a bit of a Rorschach test, right? There's not really a wrong answer in this, but the nature of how these debates go, if you are arguing for Colston Loveland, you are in turn arguing against Tyler Warren. Warren, in my mind, a little bit more of a versatile player, has a little bit more of a steady baseline of productivity, whereas Colston Loveland has been performing at an otherworldly level, but when he's had some of his teammates unavailable due to injury, right? So year 2 for both of these guys is going to be absolutely electric, but I can see myself getting completely exhausted about the debate between the two of them heading up to kickoff this year.
Well, you got to give us your take at least.
Do you remember the final 4 games of Amon-Ra St. Brown's rookie year and how everybody was like, he's not for real. Everybody's hurt. And he's the only one left. That's why his production has spiked. Well, that's what Colston Loveland is doing. If you didn't believe in Amon-Ra St. Brown, you have no reason to believe in Colston Loveland. I get that. But if you believed in Amon-Ra St. Brown coming into year 2, you better be firing up Colston Loveland year 2. I will be taking him in the 2nd round. Like, I will be overdrafting Colston Loveland. I'll be taking him right around McBride and Bowers, and it's going to be ugly. I'm fully prepared to just overinvest in Colston Loveland. I think he is in McBride territory come this time next year.
Ooh, I don't spend up on tight ends. I just don't. Come on, the tight end streaming article. Come on, that's what we do. We don't pay up for tight ends, folks. Clearly, we don't read the article. Come on, that's you know what? That's a negative point right there. That's what you get, Brett. Drew, go ahead and give us your big talking up point for the off season.
I think we're going to hear this the endless conversation about who are the elite quarterbacks now. There's just a complete disagreement of who's in that elite tier. Like, this is I saw a graphic that this is the first year, I think, in 15 years or something crazy where there hasn't been a Patrick Mahomes or a Tom Brady in the AFC Championship game. So we have Drake May. Hopefully, can take that next step. If we're going to say maybe he's that guy. Mahomes he's going to be coming off an ACL. So we got to worry about him. I mean, Herbert, everything looks shiny right now with McDaniel, but it's a new offensive coordinator. Stafford is a year older. Josh Allen hasn't won the big one, and he didn't do it in a year in which there's no Burrow or Mahomes in the playoffs, and Lamar Jackson, and all these guys got bounced, and it's just. So I think we're going to hear this. Is he really elite? We're going to hear it about Caleb Williams. He's got an otherworldly talent, and I think anyone who saw that last play that at the end of regulation was insane. Thankfully the cornerback wasn't exactly where he needed to be, and that kind of helped a little bit there. You can go on and on about the Dak having the 2 elite wide receivers. Is he a product of the system? Is he really great? He hasn't won any playoff games. Hurts has a new offensive coordinator. And Lamar Jackson has a new offensive coordinator. So we're going to have this long, endless debate all season long. It's not going to end until this time next year. But who are the elite quarterbacks?
Love it. I love it. And again, I don't like drafting them early. You don't have to have this conversation, folks. If you draft them late, double-digit rounds, that's where you find your Drake Mays. That's where you find them. That's where you find your Davis Mills, who had a QB1 finish on this season. Like, come on, guys. Come on.
He got me through some hard times this year, I tell you.
He didn't get the Texans through a hard time. That's for sure right there. You know what I mean?
Good of them.
Brett, give us your big talking point of the offseason.
So before we started the episode, I had in my notes one of the questions for this prompt was, is there such thing as drafting Colston Loveland too early? I know you're not going to like that, but that was one of mine. So I'll pivot to the other one. I think one of the biggest arguments we're going to have this offseason is, what is a catch in the NFL? What is a catch? What is a reception? Do you know? Because I don't. I mean, as far as the eye test goes, I think I know what a catch looks like, but apparently I don't. You have the Brandon Cooks, Jaquan McMillan interception in the Bills game in the division round this past weekend, and then less than a couple hours later, you had Devontae Adams with a very similar play, and he was ruled down by contact, and it was a catch. So I don't know what a catch is in the NFL anymore, and I'm not sure that the guys in stripes do either.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I honestly, I'm right there with you. At least for the next few weeks, that is the biggest buzz that we're hearing, trying to figure out what that situation is. It's absolutely bonkers. It hurts some franchises. Like, there are some teams that they are going to be locked in on that for a while. Like the Bills. Gosh, I mean, if you weren't running out Brandon Cooks, the ghost of Brandon Cooks, you wouldn't have to worry about it. You know what I mean? But
for what it's worth, he looked really good.
He did.
Coleman.
Yeah, not knocking Brandon Cooks at all. Like, I love the guy. He was a huge fan of what he had, but like, you didn't even acquire him at the beginning of the season there, Brandon Bean. So, like, this season wasn't even your doing to take him in there. You just picked him up because you screwed up in the offseason.
It sounded like more like he wanted to go there, whatever deal that he worked out with the Saints to not get released or whatever. And one other thing, how are referees in the NFL not full-time employees? Like, this is the NFL. I don't care that there isn't football for X amount of months. Use that time to get together and decide what a catch is. Do all those little things. Yeah. Like, it blows my mind how they're not. That's, like, I guess working at, not there's anything wrong with it, but working at Walmart on the next, 6 months or so. And then, sorry, I can't handle electronics this week. I got to go ref the Rams and the Cardinals.
Hey, but that's how you get to meet your favorite refs out in the wild. We wouldn't be able to see them otherwise. But till I'm full-time here, they're not full-time there.
Yeah, you can watch, you can watch Ed Hockley at the gym. Whatever gym you go to, he's probably there.
No freaking kidding.
He lives at the gym.
Oh, man. Well, that was our last topic. Brett, we got you at 90 points. Drew, you're at 92. Jay at 91. But, folks, we got our winner tonight. It's Eric. Oh, my gosh, it's Eric. I was going to say it was Jay. Look at my math doing it. Look at that, Eric. It's all on you. You got 90 seconds, man. Give me something. Spat out whatever you want. If it's just sad Houston, go for it. Go for it. Whatever you need.
Man.
The floor is yours.
I was not prepared for this. I didn't have any remarks written down. But if we have a moment here.
Didn't expect to win.
I'm going to use my time to go further down weird Texans fan lore and down that path. We talked about CJ Stroud earlier. Obviously, all of the NFL circles and all of NFL fandom is talking about what went wrong with this young man and what the Texans are going to do about it. Consensus wisdom seems to be they're at least going to sign that fifth-year option and figure out what happens. I'm actually going to go the other direction on this. I think this is an opportunity for Nick Caserio to float over an opportunistic, very team-friendly extension and see if we can't get him right in the next season and a half or so. And if not, be able to move on from him without incurring much of a cap hit, right? So for me, like I mentioned earlier, I think a lot of what we saw in this playoff run was between the ears. The young man has got the yips, but when he is clicking, he is still showing some elite and special talent. I think this is the opportunity to go out there and get him at a discount. And Nick Caserio, my guy, has been in his bag for years. You think about the Nico Collins extension that he inked about 10 days before Justin Jefferson came in and reset the wide receiver market, right? Like, this guy, he lives for these opportunistic opportunities. I think he is going to float a low ball, flexible, team-friendly offer. I think he's going to try to get him to sign it now while his market is as low as possible. Obviously, there is risk associated with this, but if it works out, it can be the type of move that keeps a young, cheap quarterback on the roster and allows the rest of the core to stay around him.
I absolutely love that. It was something Mario and I actually talked about on Monday's episode. Just Bryce Young and CJ Stroud, both those franchises are coming into issues. They're coming into that point where, they're picking up the fifth-year option, and you'd love to extend them after next year. You'd love to be able to beat people to the punch because you don't want to have to be the one that's going 60, 65, 70 mil possibly, because that's where you get yourself in a spot. So do you extend them early on a cheaper deal and roll those dice? Or do you have to wait out so you don't get locked into that deal? I absolutely love that.
Not get any cheaper than it is right now, I'll tell you.
Exactly.
Yeah. Smart.
Well, folks, we cannot thank y'all enough for coming to hang out with us here on the QB List podcast. Let's go around the horn. Around the horn. Oh, look how fun that is. We'll go around here, let everybody know
Leave that out.
where they can find y'all. Brett, where can the people find you if they're looking for more of you?
Absolutely. Yeah, you can find me at Fade That Man on Twitter, most social medias. Baseball season's coming up. I'll be on Pitcher List with Scott Chu on the Hacks and Jacks podcast. Very excited to get that started. PitchCon is coming on January 29th. Make sure you check that out. I know y'all are football fans, but baseball's coming. Hope you jump on board.
Explain to our football audience what PitchCon is.
PitchCon is a marathon podcast that Nick Pollock at Pitcher List puts on for a great cause, supporting ALS research. So there's prizes, there's never-ending podcasts. I think there's like 72 hours of podcast content coming out. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Nice. Love that, Drew. Let people know where you at.
Drew Delaware on mostly Blue Sky these days. I don't venture too much into the Twitter streets anymore, so that's where you'll find me. And I kick around a Discord here and there as well.
Nice. Eric, what about you?
At Fantasy Nav on those Twitter streets, on those Blue Sky streets, pretty much anywhere. That's where you can find my work rolling up. That's where you can find my random musings and various words. All of that landing at that at Fantasy Nav handle on really all the social medias out there.
Dope. And our lead analyst, Jay, let them know what you got for them.
Before I say anything, I say it every time. Brett, your handle is like my favorite handle I've ever seen. Fade That Man. There's just something about it. It's just, it's chef's kiss. So I just got to give you props there. But find me on Twitter, on Blue Sky, on the Facebook, whatever they call it these days. It's not Facebook anymore, but G-Men J. I just had a first set of rankings drop today. Was it? It was yesterday. Way too early top 200 that I've been getting lots of very nice things said about over on Reddit. I did drop it over there. And, I guess people have trying to explain that this is way too early. There's a lot still to come. And I weighed very heavily if the team doesn't have an offensive coordinator. We don't know what what's going to happen. So I knocked those guys down a little bit, and people don't like that. But
hey, be nice to my Eagles, okay?
I was to AJ Brown, but is he going to be an Eagle? That's the key.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to have a bunch of stuff coming out all off season long, podcast, articles. So make sure you are tuned into QBList.com.
Absolutely, folks. That's where you're going to be finding all of us here, hanging out here in QB List. If you're looking for more of me, it's at @too_much_Brian. All my stuff's rung up through there, whether it be Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram, kind of. But yeah, the podcast is where you will find me here on QB List, the podcast. We want to thank you all so much for listening. Like, subscribe. If you're over here on YouTube, we got the YouTube channel rocking. Whether you're listening to the pod, head on over there. Drop the comments. Let us know how it is. Football.pitcherlist.com is the website. Hop into the Discord. We got baseball season coming up. Thank you all so much for listening. We'll see you all next time.
Bye-bye.